From Radio DePaul, Chicago's college connection.
My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love. It is his passion.
I'm Michael Cera, and human skin is my passion.
I learned to feel things I've never felt before. Love, jealousy, passion for disemboweling.
Look at all the passion on that wall.
Well, jazz flute has always been a small passion of mine.
It's a bathroom. It's not just a bathroom, David. It's a passion project.
My passion project. Destroying someone else's passion project.
This is Passion Project with your host, Peyton Basden.
Guys, talk about that passion. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's me, Peyton. I'm so back. And it's good to be here, as always. I always have a good time when I'm here, and maybe that's why I keep coming back. And it might be why you keep coming back, loyal listener. I love you. Happy Valentine's Day. It's coming up soon. But, guys, if you weren't aware, it's a new week, and something that we like to do here, weekly even, is invite a new guest on to talk about something they're passionate about. So it is my pleasure, my honor, and truly a privilege to welcome this week's guest. If I were to describe you in 3 words,
oh boy,
it would probably be awesome, cool, and really awesome. Who are you? What's up? How's it going?
Hey, it's cool, awesome, really awesome Hope. And I'm doing great today, Peyton.
That's amazing. That's good to hear. That is what most people call you.
Yeah.
Because I was talking with my people, the extensive network that we have here at Passion Project that really works on scheduling and the upkeep of this show. And I'm like, hey, I'd love to get Hope on the show. And they're like, we don't know who Hope is. We only know awesome, really awesome, cool Hope. And I'm like, oh, that's the one.
That is the one.
That is the one. So grateful that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's wonderful. It's truly wonderful to really get you in the studio and pick your brain.
Yes.
Which I think is a really funny expression because it always harkens back. I've been thinking a lot about ancient Egypt. We were talking about this earlier.
Of course.
Then
that's my secret, yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Hope did help build the pyramids.
But just
true.
Keep it on the down low.
Yeah, we don't like to talk about that a lot.
It's personal.
It is. And I will respect that boundary.
Thank you.
We're big on respecting boundaries here.
I really appreciate that.
I'm passionate about that.
Oh my God.
But yeah, hey, it all comes back together.
Yeah.
But like picking brains, when they like put a hook up your nose in ancient Egypt and they pull
with the
brain
mummies.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it
that's
makes me think of like picking like when monkeys pick their hair.
Oh yeah.
I think of like the
Sometimes people do that to me. Like they'll pick
really?
little things off of me. And I'm like, thank you, I think.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes it's nice.
because I wear a lot of black and I'm really blonde. So like my hair's always all over my everything.
Yep.
People are like, can I get that for you? I'm like, please.
Yes.
Please.
I can't see it.
Yeah.
Take it off.
I'm not looking at myself a lot. I'm always looking forward.
Ahead.
Speaking of forwards.
Yes.
It's time to pick your brain.
Yes.
Because we're gonna do one of the time-honored traditions of the show, a phenomenal segment known as the Passion Probe, in which I will be taking the proverbial hook of questions, putting it up your nose,
Yes.
and pulling out answers in the form of brain goo.
Please do.
So, your first question. This one's pretty simple. Cats or dogs? I say it's pretty simple. It's actually a really hard question.
That's a very difficult question.
Unless you have an opinion. People have an opinion about this.
Okay. Here's the thing. I used to have an opinion. So I used to only be a dog person because I've only ever had dogs. And, like, I've never met a cat who really liked me. And they've always, like, bitten me or scratched me. So I'm like, whatever. You don't like me. I don't like you. It's fine. I'll be a dog person. But this past, like, year and a half, I knew someone who had a cat that I really liked. And I was like, ooh, maybe I'll be a cat person for this one cat, but otherwise, dog.
I understand that. That's what I found is I never knew a good cat.
Yeah.
And then I met a few good cats. Like recently I stayed at my friend's house and her cat like voluntarily came up to me and sat on my lap and that made me feel so whole.
Yeah.
And so loved. I'm like, wow.
It's kind of crazy how much we need cats' validation.
Right?
Like to feel like a good person.
Right? Because dogs will give it to you anytime.
Immediately, yeah.
They do not care.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I respect that. And like, that's what draws them to me immediately. But I'm like, oh, for a cat to want me.
Sometimes you just need a little more.
It would make my life so beautiful.
Right, exactly.
Right. Phenomenal answer.
Thank you.
I'm going to challenge you with another more difficult question.
Oh, God. Okay.
Do you have a favorite number?
Ooh. Okay, it would either be 18 because it's a nice, clean, even number.
That's true.
It's like kind of high up, but not too high up, and it's also my birthday, so I feel a little partial to that. Or I would say 3 because I have 2 siblings, so in total we're 3.
Are you in the middle?
I'm the oldest.
Oh wow, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Do I not give oldest vibes?
I see. This is one of those things that now that you say it and I think about it, I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But my worldview has always been as the youngest, so I kind of just like assume everybody's the youngest child or has no siblings.
Yeah.
So I don't get that perspective often.
I like to guess where people are in the lineup.
Right.
Like I did not know you have an older brother, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But
I
one.
did not guess that.
Right. Yeah. I always feel really validated also when I'm like, you're an only child and they're an only child.
Yep.
I'm like, beautiful.
I just know
Beautiful.
that. I just know that. Yeah.
I can tell. They just have this certain je ne sais quoi.
They do. They really do.
They
and
do.
it's not a bad thing. It's just.
We've had plenty of only children on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say you have mostly only children on the show?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fan of siblings personally. So
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that they just don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But that's what friends are for.
Exactly. Friends are like siblings
that
weren't born by the same people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Brother from another mother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Friends are just siblings that aren't your siblings, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I've always said.
We're always saying, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This next one, it's pretty cool. Do you have a favorite breakfast food?
Ooh. I really like, if I was at home on the reg, it would be waffles. Because I think, in my opinion, waffles are better than pancakes because you get that like crisp and you can like get the butter in there and like the syrup and stuff.
Yeah.
I like that a lot more than pancakes.
Yes.
Now that I've been into Paul and the dining hall is not always what I want to eat, I've been really liking the bagels that they have.
Bagels.
And I do a bagel and I do a nice cream cheese like smear on it. And it's really good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's effective.
It is. And it takes like 3 seconds to toast and then it's ready to go.
Perfect. Yeah. Sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
Simple is good.
Yeah.
Especially for breakfast. That's not a
Agreed.
high investment meal usually.
Yeah.
Like, I just need to eat this and go.
Yeah, I feel like the meal price goes up throughout the day. Like dinner's usually like the most expensive thing and then like breakfast is least expensive.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about you, Payne?
Oh, biscuits and gravy. It's like my favorite breakfast food.
Really?
And my favorite breakfast food is what I call breakfast schlop.
Okay.
Where you just kind of take a biscuit and some sort of meat and egg and gravy and just put hash browns, anything. Just put it all in a big pile of like wet breakfast. So I'll try and look for like the equivalent of that anywhere. Best I ever had it, Marianne's Diner Stack.
Where's that?
In Urbana-Champaign. There's a diner called Marianne's.
Okay.
And I believe it's called the Diner Stack.
Yeah.
It is your choice of sausage patty or hamburger meat.
Oh, wow.
Eggs, hash browns, gravy, and you can add a biscuit. Always add the biscuit.
Wow.
And then they just stack it up for you.
What does it taste like?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all those things
Breakfast.
together. I don't know. Like the gravy really helps it go down.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
It does. It's smooth. It's good. Okay. Last question. We'll transition us a little bit, too, in today's topic. Are you familiar with the hit film Yesterday?
The one about the Beatles?
Yes. In which the world forgets the Beatles exist.
Yes.
Except for this one guy. He remembers.
Except for the one guy.
Is there a band or musical artist that you wish you could yesterday? Like you're the only person who remembers this artist and you would like recreate their music from the ground up.
Oh my God. Ooh. Okay, clarifying question.
Yes.
In the movie, does he do all of the instruments and all the singing and everything by himself?
It's been a while since I've seen it. He kind of does. Like it's a plot point because he keeps forgetting the lyrics. So
Right.
he like goes and like tries to recreate it. So I think you'd be in a similar situation. So like if you were to say like me personally, I don't know a lot about Taylor Swift. So if I were to say Taylor Swift, I'd go in with the knowledge I have about Taylor Swift. So I like would not be able to recreate those eras faithfully.
Right.
I could do Shake It Off really good.
Okay.
And that's it.
The one song.
Yeah. And it's my favorite. It's just classic.
It's a really good
timeless.
song.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unless there's an artist you know nothing about that you really want to be.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, is there one I could like just straight up steal? Like, do I want to be like Toto and like just recreate Toto's vibe and be like, this is the new Toto or the only Toto that people know?
Right.
Because I don't really know a lot about Toto. I know Africa.
Classic.
And I think that's about it.
Rosanna, Hold the Line. Classic. Toto's
Okay.
a good band.
Okay.
Toto's a cool band.
They are. And maybe I
It-
could be Toto.
Yeah, that's a perfectly
Maybe.
fine answer because they have like this strange, rich history of they were just this like group of studio musicians
Oh,
who
yeah?
worked together, and they did so many songs. There was in the studio. They did like most of Thriller.
Oh.
Like they're the band that plays on that.
Really?
And they just did so much studio stuff together. And like, hey, let's make our own band. So then they made Toto.
Wow. How many albums do they have?
Toto. I can think of 3 off the top of my head.
Okay.
At least 2.
Okay. Damn. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could, that's not a tall task to recreate. I think you could do an easy 3 albums.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. By myself? Easy.
Mhm. Yeah.
No experience.
Exactly.
Sound mixing, recording, anything like that. But I can
You don't
make
need
it.
to.
I can make
You don't
it
need
work.
to. Hey, you think those guys had experience? They had a lot.
Yeah, they had a lot of actually,
they were
you
actually
just
some of the
said
best.
that, yeah.
But hey, I digress. But actually, Hope, I do think you have some experience. Because you're here today
Yes.
to talk about something that is really related to music.
It is.
Dare
I say intertwined?
Yes, intertwined.
Yes.
It's present in most modern music.
Yes.
It's present in a lot of ancient music as well.
Indeed,
It's present sort of absent of music and melody.
Yeah.
Because for we all feel the rhythm every day.
Exactly. The rhythm of life.
Our hearts have a beat.
They
Think
do.
about that.
Mhm.
Hope, what are you here to talk about today?
Peyton, I'm here to talk about drumming.
Boom. And then if I had like a drum, I'd hit it right
Yeah.
now. Drumming. Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Like the coolest thing ever. What does drumming mean to you? What is your journey with drumming?
Oh gosh. Okay. My journey with drumming started. My dad got us a drum set. Well, us. He got himself a drum set.
Awesome.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
as dads do.
Mhm.
He got himself a drum set. I think right before COVID hit, maybe.
Awesome.
Which
Wait,
is the perfect time.
good
to get a
time for
drum
that.
set, right?
Yeah.
So he got it because he's my dad's always been super into music, and
Yes.
I definitely credit him with like getting me into music as well.
Mhm.
But he got a drum set, put it in the basement, sort of would like fiddle around with it from time to time, and just sort of play songs for fun. And then one day during COVID, he was like, "Hey, I want to make a music video, and I want you to I want you to play the drums for this song." I think we were doing like a hand clap by Fitz and the Tantrums.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
has like
yeah.
a really steady drum beat to it.
Mhm.
So he was like, "You can do this, and like we'll record it, and then we'll make our own music video with that
Mhm.
like beat in it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I did it the first time, and I hated it. I was like, I can't move my arms and my legs. Like it's
Mhm.
too complicated. And so that was my first experience with drumming, and I didn't like it. And then
Awesome. Great place to start.
Right?
Mhm.
I think you always have to start hating something to then like it.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think, yeah, it's a journey. It's
It
a
is.
journey.
It is. So then I took I didn't touch the drums for like 2 years after that, maybe.
Mhm.
And then I really don't know why I started again, but I did one day.
Mhm.
I think it was because my dad really got me into Paramore.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that. Paramore and just some other like really cool heavy metal, like Rage Against the Machine type
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
So and then the beat would just sort of take over, and you're like, "Oh my God, I gotta go
Mhm.
play this beat right now." And so one day I think when the house was totally empty, I was like, "This is maybe my time." So I
Mhm.
went down to the basement and I started sort of like messing around, and I was like, "Oh wait, okay, this is kind of fun. I actually kind of like this." Yeah, and then I try to do it when I was at home. I try to do it like once a week,
Mhm.
just to sort of maintain that like
Right.
ambidextrous.
Ambidextrousness.
Yes.
Sure.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
a real word.
That's a word.
Yeah.
Of my hands and my feet.
Mhm.
But it's been hard being here because I don't have access to a drum set. So
Right. Well, I think that's really funny. And like, because I'm at college, I've tried to start a band like 12 different times.
Have you really?
Because that's how college works.
Yeah, of
But like
course.
every single time we run into the issue of like, we don't know anyone with a drum set
You
because
don't have
nobody
any
has a drum set at
instruments.
college.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is so real. It's an instrument that is difficult to transport.
Yes.
And it's an instrument that I feel like is less common
Mm-hmm.
because you need to know someone with a drum set.
You do. It's a
learn to play
tall
drums.
order. Yeah.
Particularly like if you're playing on a set, you're like,
Yeah.
that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
What was your sort of approach to learning how to play?
Yeah.
Your wonderful method that worked flawlessly.
My method of just.
What's the 3 easy steps? How can I get good at drums
I
today?
got you. Okay. First easy step: listen to your dad do it a whole bunch.
Okay.
And sort of be like, okay, I can do that. He's
yeah.
doing it. I
Easy.
can do
Yeah.
it.
Easy.
Second step: Second step, I think, is I took lessons for like 6 weeks.
Ooh.
Max.
Ooh.
But
awesome.
The big takeaway I had from that was that my instructor made me buy a drumming book. And he really just taught me out of the book, so I don't really know why I was going to lessons when I had the book. But anyway, that's besides the point. I now have this book. And the one thing he did do that was great was he taught me how to read drum music. Yeah. So I could sort of like, now I go through the book and I sort of be like, okay, like it's called like Rock Groove number 7. And I'll be like, okay, let's like,
love that one.
I know I know how to do this, and then I'll sort of like try to play it, and then I'll do it like faster and faster and faster, and then I'll be like, okay, and then I'll like write a check by it to be like, okay, I've got
Did
this.
that one.
Exactly.
Did that
and then
one.
I'll move on. And then third step, go crazy. Turn your music up super loud when the house is empty, and just like beat the crap out of everything that you can.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's also a loud instrument, which I think is like
you can't
awesome.
take it in a dorm.
No.
I was telling my dad I was gonna loft my bed, and if he got me an electric set, I would just put it under my bed.
Oh yeah, that's
and
awesome.
And then that way, like, it's not loud at all.
Was that like was he like, awesome, I'm gonna buy you an electric drum set?
He was like, talk to your roommate first, and I was like,
okay,
fair enough. Yeah,
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's because drums, like I said before, it's not the most accessible instrument.
No,
my only experience is every single time I go to Guitar Center, like I'll sit down and I'll think about it, and I'm like, not today.
I love.
And then I have to like get Guitar Center's the best store in the entire world.
Do you go to the one on Halstead?
I've been a few times. I haven't been in a while. I need to go back because I just look at guitars and I'm like,
yeah. Do you ever play, or you just like look around?
I've gotten braver. I've gotten braver. I'll play once or twice. Because here's the thing: is I'll always walk in, and there's always that guy that's just better than everyone.
Yep.
And I'm like,
yeah, and he's got the amp turned up real loud.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'll leave.
Yeah, it's fine. I understand. I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll go. Which is always, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
Just look at instruments are cool.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I'll take that.
You're so brave.
Yeah, we take big strides on this show.
Yeah.
We
wow.
really push the envelope.
Mm-hmm.
In your process,
of
you
course.
know, your process.
My professional process.
Of course. Professional drummer. Were there like any songs or things you were like, I want to learn this? You spoke a little bit before about like influences.
Yes.
Of like you were listening to things like Paramore and you're like, this is inspiring. Mm-hmm. What about what like drummers songs like inspire, or you're like, I want to do that?
Mainly Paramore. Paramore's great. Yes. I gotta plug Fall Out Boy too.
Okay, we love Fall Out Boy.
They're my top two always. They're the best. Fall Out Boy and Paramore are really different because Paramore has a lot more sort of what's their one album? Their After Laughter album, the one with the pink cover, is all
classic.
like, it's all like fun. Like they've got like maracas going and like different like smaller drums and louder drums, and they have these really crazy like groove beats in that one album. So any of those songs, if I'm ever drumming and it comes on, I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. Like this is like crazy stuff. And then Fall Out Boy is a lot more sort of like what you imagine a typical like rock punk drum beat to be. They just go crazy fast sometimes, and then you're like, whoa.
Awesome.
But those two definitely. I've recently started to try to play Pat Benatar's Heartbreaker.
Oh, fire.
Because that's a great song.
It's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? I have a whole playlist. I've got like Green Day on there. I've got Rage Against the Machine. I've got some like classic 90s songs. Like Poison's on there.
The drums on Poison. Some of the best drums ever.
Amazing. Amazing stuff.
Ever.
Yeah.
I think possibly one of like the top 10 most iconic, I don't know, drum riffs of all time.
Yes.
Like beats. Yeah.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
I don't think people talk about it enough.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good. I think about it.
All
and
the time.
I'm so glad somebody else knows.
It is on that playlist.
Oh, fire.
Yeah.
When you play, do you play like the recording of the song and do you play along with it typically?
I do. Yeah, I've always had it. I play it loud enough so that I can hear the music, but I can also hear myself on the drums. So I'll do that, but then I'll also there are days where I'll sort of just break down like skills, like, you know, do like paradiddles a whole bunch, or like
paradiddles.
You know, like really work on like the bass drum and like kicking and stuff like that. I also, Instagram now knows that I
Like
I play the drums.
Yeah.
And so they'll send me like, you should do this riff. You should do this riff. I'm like, I will do this riff. Thank you. And so I have a whole folder of like saved drum things.
Drum
so
stuff.
sometimes
Yeah.
I'll get bored and I'll be like, let's try out this right, left, kick, right, left.
Of course. Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. So
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
How often do you dabble in auxiliary percussion? How often do you dabble in the little doodads and the whatsits?
Well, what do you mean by auxiliary percussion?
Like I'm thinking your guiro. I'm thinking your vibra slap. I'm thinking cowbell. I'm thinking shakers. I'm
God.
thinking maraca, Eddie, and all of that.
Here's the thing, Peyton. If
Yeah.
I had the money for all of that, you best believe I would have 2 of everything in my dorm room. I'd have 2 of everything.
Yeah.
I just recently got a tambourine,
Oh,
which I've been telling
we're gonna talk
everyone about.
that. Yeah.
Thank you, Grandma, for giving me that for my birthday. That was
Awesome.
wonderful. But I love a cowbell. I think cowbells are actually kind of what got me into it. There was
Awesome.
one song I listened to that had a great cowbell. It might have been Toto.
It could
And
be.
it just-
Could be.
It's
You're
so
like, yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Nice
yeah,
little
yeah.
vibe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Love-
But Vibra Slappers, we used it in a show I stage managed this quarter, and I did have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it's
That was good.
I think it's my dad's favorite instrument of all time because it's a
Right?
good instrument.
It's so fun.
It's awesome.
You can never go wrong. Like, it will fit in any song.
Yeah, it will. It'll add. It's a fine line.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some stupid like documentary thing where they were talking about Crazy Train.
Yes.
And they were talking about the vibra slap
Yes.
and Crazy Train.
Yes.
And they're like, you can't do too much, but you got to do just enough, and that'll make the song work perfectly.
Yeah. Like 50%. 50%
Yeah.
Vibra Slapper right
Mhm.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think it's the power of the vibra slap. If you do it too much, people will stop and they'll be like, "Oh my god, that's a vibra slap," and it
Yes.
could take you out of the moment.
That's a good point, actually.
It's a powerful
it needs
instrument.
to blend.
It
It
does.
needs to blend.
It does.
Yes, I agree.
But iconic, unique sound.
Oh my god.
Great instrument.
Who came up with that instrument?
I don't know, but I want to
Who
meet
built
them.
that?
I want
Yeah.
to because it also looks crazy.
It does.
Like it doesn't work how you think. Like I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because you hold it weird and you hit it weird. I don't know.
It looks like a bop it,
Yeah, but awesomer.
but also and it
Yeah.
does bop, and it makes a great noise when it does bop.
It does. It
Yeah.
does. Live, laugh, love, vibra slap. How's your tambourine journey been?
Oh my god. Well, here's the thing, Peyton. My tambourine journey is very new.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had a respect and a passion for the tambourine. I think just like the vibra slapper, it fits into any song,
It's I think one of the most universal instruments.
right?
Mhm.
And you can use it to make any beat you want. You know, you can do like the low sound or the high
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah,
Works
yeah.
anytime. I just saw my sister do the Prom, the musical.
Oh,
And they
yes.
have that one big song, "Love Thy Neighbor," where they do
love that. That's my favorite one from that musical.
so much
I'll say it.
tambourine
Awesome.
in that song. It's
Awesome.
amazing. And I saw that, and I turned to my grandma, and I was like, I want a tambourine right now. And she got me a tambourine, thankfully.
That's
But,
awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that is a really good song.
It is. Shout out the Prom also.
Thank you. The
Don't know much
Prom.
about the drums in the Prom, but
No.
good tambourine.
Very good.
Very good
Very
tambourine.
good. Mhm.
So what's your tambourine process? Like run me through. Is this another thing where you're like, do you try to learn songs in tambourine, or are you just like fully in the groove? I'm making stuff up. I'm
Fully
gonna
in the
tambourine.
groove. Tambourine has got to be improv.
Mhm.
You can't give me tambourine music. I won't listen to it. I'll rip it
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
I'll say, this is me and my tambourine.
Right.
I need the room to be empty.
Mhm. Right. Of course.
I need to have my eyes closed, the lights off. I need to
Mhm.
just be like
Yeah.
tambourining
Yeah.
solo and just let it take over, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And is that not what music's for?
That is exactly what music is for, baby.
Take your mind and soul to another time and
Yeah.
place. Get
Elevate
lost.
yourself.
Yeah. And I guess building off of that, is there a particular draw that, like, I guess, entice you into drumming? And is there something, is there a larger reason why you keep doing it beyond perhaps like, oh, I'll learn this song, or like that?
Right.
Like, what about it is interesting to you?
I really think that this might sound weird, but I don't think drums get as much recognition as they should
Mm-hmm.
for like songs and stuff. Like I think everyone can recognize a sick guitar riff, you know.
We know.
Like,
We know those.
Like Pink Pony Club, people will do the like
Yeah.
and that's cool. And
It's
like
good.
that's
It's
awesome.
cool.
No shade to that at all. But I think like drums really set the tone for a lot of things.
Mhm.
And on drum Instagram, they send me videos all the time about how changing the rhythm of the drums really changes the vibe of the song.
Mhm.
And I think that that's really cool. And I think it's just like it's an instrument that involves using your entire body. And I can't think of a lot of instruments that do involve like feet and arms and wrists and like fingers, you know, and like everything like that. Like maybe the tuba.
Maybe. If you're doing like squats while doing the tuba.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe the stand-up bass if you're like leaning back and forth.
Yeah, if you're really
like
moving with it.
Yeah, but it's so different and so new, I guess. And you can do so much with it.
Right.
That's why I also love going to Guitar Center and just seeing all the little like doohickeys they have around
Oh,
that you
yeah.
can add to the drum set. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
What does this thing do? And it's a Vibra Snapper, but
Yeah, it is. Every time I'm at Guitar Center, you know I hit that thing.
Yeah.
You know I'm like, bonk. Yeah, it's perfect.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's perfect.
But it's just really cool. And I think you can do a lot with it. And you can be in every song because you need
Every
drums
song
in
needs
like
drums,
every
yeah.
song.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it doesn't feel the same way as like learning how to play the piano where you have to, you know, you'd be like, this is the C key. And then this
Yeah.
is like, you know, then you can make a chord and you can do this. And I do like that when it comes to guitar. For some reason in my mind, guitar and piano are like different in that sense.
there's it's yeah.
Yeah, but drums, you like the tom sounds the way a tom does, and
Yeah.
the bass sounds the way the bass does, and you just hit it when it's the right time to do it.
Right. You aren't necessarily building a melody that like repeats. You aren't crafting in that sense.
Yeah,
You are using the same 5 to 10 tools
exactly.
over and over again and putting them in different orders in different ways.
Exactly.
It's a different kind of thinking.
Yes.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I'll say it. It's cool. It's
It
like
is
it's
cool.
interesting. Because I'll get those videos where it's like,
Yeah.
drummer does this song in different styles. And I'm
Yeah.
like, awesome. But you like really hear and you really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I always think it's funny. There's like this discourse surrounding Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
Of the Beatles, my king. Peace and love.
Oh my gosh.
Peace and love.
What's wrong with Ringo Starr?
Well, actually, I don't know I hope he's okay. If there's
okay.
anything. Sorry, Ringo, if there's anything. I think he's pretty on board.
Okay.
Above water. Everybody loves Ringo Starr.
Oh, good. Okay.
But like, people are like, is he a good drummer or not? And like,
I did hear about this. You're right. Yeah.
Because like, it's this conversation around. There's this idea of technical skill.
Right.
Of like, you can do these crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a lot of these drummers who have massive sets who are doing everything all the time. It's
Yeah.
like cool. But like, people really uplift Ringo because they're like, he understands his role in every single one of the songs.
Yes.
And he gives it exactly what it needs.
Yeah.
And like, I think drumming has sort of like a strange relationship with music, especially like popular music. Like, the best drummers are the ones you don't notice.
Exactly.
Because like, if you go and like do way too much, people are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's too loud. I can't hear the other things. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Which I mean, everybody can do too much on any instrument, but
Yeah.
like, I think it's really interesting how much you notice and do not notice drums,
Yes.
and like sort of tweaking it to find that fine line of like, oh, here's where it should be,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to like, oh wow, you're doing everything.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's an interesting point too, because drums are usually the loudest instrument. So if you can get a drum to blend in, that's really the mark of like a good
Yeah.
drummer, when they can just sort of play exactly what they need to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they really work and build.
Exactly. My dad really wants me to start listening to more Red Hot Chili Peppers. I think the same reason for Ringo Starr. Like, they have
Yeah.
like one kit.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything crazy, but like the way they play just like perfectly complements all of the songs and like adds to it.
Shout out Chad Smith
Yes.
of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
The guy who looks exactly like Will Ferrell.
Yes.
It's really awesome. He's also really fun and like, I love watching him do stuff.
Yeah.
'Cause he's like pleasure to watch. Also, I will say this again. I think the Red Hot Chili Peppers are underappreciated in our society
1 million
nowadays.
%.
They're awesome. They're
Yes.
awesome. Okay. Passion probe, like sidebar.
Yeah.
This is a question I ask people a lot. Because I think it's a good one.
Mhm.
And I think there's real stuff to it. If you could only pick one,
Oh.
rid of the other one forever.
Okay.
You can only have one for the rest of your life.
Okay,
Your
right.
options.
Okay.
Red Hot Chili Peppers
Mm.
or Green Day.
Whoa.
Right?
Peyton.
Right?
Oh my God.
Because this question's been really, because I was really proud of myself when I came up for it. I'm like, okay, in my brain, these are two bands who
Yeah.
have both been pretty successful,
Mhm.
operating around similar-ish times,
Yes.
really like I feel like they operate in like a similar space in the cultural zeitgeist.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
Do you think they both get categorized into like dad rock? Because in my mind, Red Hot Chili Peppers has been categorized into like dad rock, whereas Green Day is still maintained like this sort of like alt persona.
That's a good question. Red Hot Chili Peppers are a little older.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've remained as relevant as Green Day.
Yes, definitely.
Because I think their appeal is different. Green Day had and still has this like appeal to like what I feel is like the teenage generation of like, you look at American Idiot, you look at like all these things, you're like, oh yeah, I'm a teenager and everything sucks.
Exactly.
Like, it has that sort of universal appeal. Like, Red Hot Chili Peppers is like, we're in California and we're yelling, and also I'm gonna talk about drug abuse and I'm under a bridge. Like, it's different.
So relatable.
Yeah, like, so I think, not because Green Day also, like, very technically proficient, really interesting musical stuff.
Yes.
Like, so much fun. And I really also see Billy Joe Armstrong out all the time, like, just doing stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, good for you, man.
Yeah.
So, like, I think part of that is that Green Day has maintained more relevance. I only see Red Hot Chili Peppers do festivals nowadays. Like, they haven't, like, toured.
Yeah.
So.
Well, how old are they at this point?
Ancient, probably.
Yeah, bones.
Yeah. They still take their shirts off, so they're still awesome.
Good. Okay.
They're still awesome and cool.
Then I will be at that next festival.
Heck yeah. But.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, I think I listen to more Green Day.
Right.
I think I do, which I don't know if that's good, but that's what I do. And I really like the song. I really like the song "Time of Your Life."
Classic.
And
good
I think
riddance.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful song.
It goes over every like video edit you want to make.
Yeah.
Like.
It's beautiful. I don't see many Under the Bridge edits. That one's not beautiful in the same way.
I do love that song. That is what got me into Red Hot Chili Peppers. Was that song?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Californication. Snow. Hey, like,
yep.
Okay. I will ride for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. We know. I have a playlist called Red Hot Chili Peppers songs I know, and it is exactly that.
How many Red Hot Chili Peppers songs
There's
do you know?
11 on
11?
there.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
It's great. But I could, like, it's not a moral question. I think you picked a good option.
Thank you.
I was really surprised the first time I asked people this. Everyone was like, oh, Green Day. Oh, Green Day. And I'm like, wow. Huh.
Yeah, to your point, Red Hot Chili Peppers is sort of like fallen.
By the way, and I don't think that's okay.
I don't think it is either.
They presented at the Grammys. Not all of them.
Oh.
It was Chad Smith.
This Grammy? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, you're right.
The other guy whose name I know.
Oh.
Who's and he plays guitar.
Peyton picks the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but Peyton doesn't know
the
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Lee is there. Anthony Kiedis.
Okay.
I think it was Anthony Kiedis. Yeah, and Chad Smith.
Yeah. I have no idea, so you could be telling me straight lies and I would not know.
And Jeffrey Pepper is the fourth one.
Of course, of whom the band is named after.
Yes.
Obviously.
He was red hot, as we know.
And they said, whoa, Pepper, you're red hot. Wait.
Say that again.
Ding, ding,
That's how it started.
Yeah.
That's how it started. All that being said, Chad Smith is an awesome drummer.
Yes.
Trey Cool plays bass in Green Day, right? Am I crazy?
I
could
no
be crazy.
Idea.
I don't know who Green Day's drummer is. It might be Trey Cool, unless Trey Cool plays bass. Then it's the other guy whose name I can't remember. Sorry.
Drummer
Sorry.
Guy.
Yeah.
Guy. Yeah.
I guess just Green Day isn't that relevant anymore.
Oh, Peyton, don't do that.
I don't mean that. I don't mean that.
No.
They have good songs.
Yeah.
Holiday, favorite. Love that one.
That's a good one.
American Idiot, classic.
Yep.
We love
Obviously.
Green Day.
Obviously.
We'll say
I think they're both, like, I wouldn't want to live in a world without either of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably the one I don't know about is that Red Hot Chili Peppers has probably inspired a lot of the music we have nowadays.
Right.
So, like, they needed to exist for the music that we have now.
They inspire me in all the music I make.
Exactly. You and your bands.
Yeah, my many bands that I try to start, but I don't have a drummer. This is the problem.
You don't have a drum set.
Yeah, that's true. I actually know a few drummers, just no sets.
Yeah. You need to get bongos. Your band needs to consist of bongos.
Bongos are phenomenal.
You can carry those around easy peasy, and they sell those at Guitar Center.
Oh, I know where I'm going after this. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm gonna get a full set and bongos.
Yes,
that'll
perfect.
be awesome.
Perfect.
Because that's always fun. When you see like people perform live, like in the bands, I think it's awesome because you got one guy, depending on like how robust the production is, one guy on the set, killing the set,
and
then you got another
destroying
guy,
the set.
Another guy who's like sort of trapped in like a square.
Yes.
With all these little things.
Yes.
All these little things. He's got his bongos. He's got his big gong.
Yep.
He's got like his shakers. It's
He's got
awesome.
his like tall little skinny drum. Yeah.
And every time I see him, I'm like, you're the person who's having the most fun here.
Yeah.
No one else is having as much fun
you
as
get
you.
to play so many more things. That's
It's wonderful.
That's why drumming is so fun, because you
It's
get to
good.
play like percussion is a very vast.
It's something you can hit
Exactly.
and make a noise.
Exactly. Which could be anything. That was the exact situation when I went to see Paramore. It was Zach Farrow was like up on a platform with his set, and then there was another guy just sort of off to the side in a little square with all of his other instruments. And I was like, look
Awesome.
at him go.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on the slapstick. That's just wood. You just hit
And
two
you
pieces of
slap
wood
it,
together, and it's awesome.
And it's amazing.
And it's again an all-time instrument.
Yes, it is.
I
It
think
fits in everything.
I think we underestimate the beauty of simplicity as a society.
I agree. Everyone's trying to do too much. Let's take a step back.
Can we all slow down communally?
Can we, everyone take a slapstick and just go have some fun?
Yeah.
You know? Go to
Make
a park.
some noise.
Exactly. Make some
That's
noise.
a great idea. It's a great idea.
Thwap, thwap, thwap.
Yeah. Don't hit people, please.
No.
Make music.
Yes.
Make
Slapstick
music.
isn't slap the stick to make the music.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Don't slap other people.
Yeah, that's not how it works. That is percussion.
That is how we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I hit myself to make drum noises.
Oh yeah, all the time.
It's awesome.
Taka, 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 taka.
It works.
Yeah.
It works. We've been talking a lot about bands.
Yes.
And as you are familiar,
Yes.
and I think as most of our audience know, bands aren't just drums. They have other things in them.
They do.
Including other instruments. And in talking with you and like prepping for this instrument, I know you've also dabbled in the guitar.
I have.
What has that experience been like? How did that start for you?
Just want to say that was a really good transition.
Thank
That
you.
was really impressive.
I think a lot about my transitions.
That was really good.
Yeah, thank you. It's my pride and joy.
It's a passion, you could say.
Amen to that. Amen.
Guitar was very similar because my dad, who was also very big into guitars, had a lot of guitars at home.
Wonderful.
And he would dabble all the time. And there was a period of time where he tried to teach me, and I got fed up. There was just a period of time where I was fed up with everything.
Real.
We call that being a teenager.
Amen.
Yeah. So once I got over that hump, and then quarantine hit, and I was like, what am I doing right now? I finally picked up one of his guitars, and it was sort of the same. I just started dabbling. I would look up songs I wanted to play, and I would just sort of learn the chords and like play along with that. In high school, I got to take Guitar 1 senior year.
Wonderful.
Which was great.
Wonderful.
So I got to learn. I do this little like warm up every time I start on the guitar that I learned in that class. I got to really focus on sort of like playing more with my fingers instead of like just playing chords.
Right.
Which
right.
makes me feel really cool and like I'm grooving.
Yeah.
And then yeah, so I did that class, and then I sort of felt a little more comfortable in my playing. So actually the one thing that I really liked from that class is he gave me a packet. My teacher gave me a packet of Christmas music. And so if you catch me at Christmas time, I've got 8 songs I could whip out on the guitar for you.
Oh, beautiful.
Anytime you want to hear
beautiful.
it. But yeah, so then playing guitar sort of got me into like, you would listen also to like the bass guitar as well. So I was like, ooh, maybe I could try the bass too, because that's sort of like guitar, but
bass is fun.
Different. It's
bass
very
is fun.
And it's like the drum of guitars, because you're sort of setting that like that
right.
beat and that
yes.
groove.
Yes.
So then
yes,
I would
yes,
sort
yes.
of start playing bass too, so I can do a little bit of that.
So you're telling me,
Yeah,
if there were enough of you, you could be your own band.
I could be my own band.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Did you play primarily electric, acoustic guitar? Do you have a preference?
Primarily acoustic. I've recently gotten into electric because my dad has now let me use his electric guitar, which is great.
Fire.
I think acoustic is nicer on my fingers. It's not like electric guitar, like the strings are harder. And I don't really like that a lot of the times. I'm like, ouch. So
Yeah.
So I stick mainly with acoustic. But I'm developing a passion for electric guitar as well, because it looks
cool.
sick.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I think we, as a society, also I think we properly value, and I just want to uplift the value of coolness.
Yes.
I
Doing
think it's
something
awesome.
just because it's cool.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Rule of cool. It
I
works.
I agree.
Works. Do you in your when you're playing guitar,
Yeah.
is it similar of like, this is a riff that I think is really cool, I'm gonna try and learn it, or how much of like, do you just sit there and are like, I'm here with this thing, let's see what I can make?
I want to do more of, here is this thing, let's see what I can make, but I don't think I know enough yet
To
to be able to do that. That's one thing that my dad does really well that I'm very jealous of, that he can just sort of sit there and just like make like licks and riffs and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like a song. And you're just like doing that on your own. But my approach has always been sort of, I'll be like, okay, this is a really cool song. I like to play it. What are the chords? And then find the chords. And then if there's more to it, recently I've started like actually looking up like YouTube videos and being like, okay, this is how the exact like chord progression goes, and like, oh, they lift their pinky and then they put it back down real quick, and then like that's how to make that sound. So it's a lot more of I play to accompany because I like doing music for other people. Like I like playing on my own, but I also love when I get to go, when I'm at home and I go downstairs and I'm like, I call my sister over and I'm like, hey, like here's a Taylor Swift song you love, like sing it while I play it, and then we can do that. So I really like music for that aspect.
That's real.
Yeah.
Music brings us together.
Music brings the world together.
I love you, music. What insight do you have to give on sort of the percussive elements of guitar? Because there's a lot of that happening.
Yes.
It's a highly rhythmic instrument.
Yes.
Especially on acoustic, you can get crazy. You can
Oh
put
my
a little,
God.
a little like tap.
Oh yeah.
Tap in that
Yeah.
in the sound hole, and it makes like what? It's like a drum, guys.
Sound hole.
An acoustic guitar is like a drum. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I love a good guitar song where you get to slap it a little bit and you're like doo-doo-doo ba doo-doo-doo ba.
I always think of The Chain by Fleetwood Mac.
Yes.
Because they really like hard stop and they're like
exactly.
like hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun because, I mean, have you seen those crazy videos of people who play the guitar like totally like in the wrong way, and then they do like crazy beats on it while they're playing? Have you
I've seen
that?
some. Yeah, I'm like you're not playing the same instrument that everybody else
No,
is.
but it sounds so cool.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Because it's a drum and like a guitar combined somehow, and it just
awesome.
So
it's awesome.
I'll work up to that one day.
Yeah.
Maybe if I watch YouTube videos.
Your paths are converging.
Oh,
you'll
100%.
get there soon.
Yeah.
This is a personal preference question.
Yeah.
And it's something I started really thinking about in noticing once I started playing guitar
Mm-hmm.
in like recorded music.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the little like you'll hear like the slides on the strings and you hear the little like squeaks and the stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I like it personally because then when I do it, I'm like, we're like,
well, I'm a professional.
We're like twins.
I'm a professional. Yeah.
But what's your take on it?
I think it's a neat like stylistic thing you can do.
Yeah.
Some like talking specifically about acoustic. Like when I hear a song like Ed Sheeran Perfect, I'm like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's personal, it's quiet.
Yeah.
It's got that sort of raw human element to it. Which I think is kind of awesome. But then like other songs, it's really not present.
Yeah.
And then something that I think is really interesting, especially when I went on my like I'm still on it, don't worry, my electric guitar journey. How sort of manufactured those sounds are. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
How they sort of make this, because electric guitar I feel is a different instrument because there's this whole other element to playing it, of like you play the instrument the same way, but the way you modify the sound and you adjust it sometimes to get rid of like some of that natural, but also sometimes to really like fuzz up and like make it crazy.
Yeah.
Like to produce these really interesting sounds, like a whole nother element.
Have you sort of gotten into that? Because I'm scared to do any of the like pedals. And
I don't own any pedals.
Okay.
I know of pedals.
Yeah. The idea of pedals.
That is my big next step, because my current electric guitar setup is $100 electric guitar starter pack from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
And it works, but we need to move up in the world.
Yes.
But it's something like that I'd be interested in, and sort of like manufacturing those sounds. I know, something I need to research is like, I mean, pedals are like, you know, the preferred way, or like the simpler way to do it. But I'm like, I don't have money to spend like $50 on a pedal, because they're all kind of gimmicky. It's like, this will do this one thing, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, then you need like 10 pedals to do a song.
Something crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So, and I don't even know where I'd start, but like, there's also like softwares now. Like, you just go into GarageBand, you can screw with it enough.
That's
and
true.
It'll like work.
Yeah.
So I'm not like super on the hill, but like it would be cool. Like I want to do this thing, I want to do it right.
Yeah.
But it's not something I know a lot about, but something I'm intrigued by.
It feels like a scary step to go from like I play the guitar to like now I have to like get all the things to do the things and like actually advance, sort of. But
right, in a way, it seems like something I love to do that you can only do on electric guitar is just kind of max everything out. And then everything just sounds crazy. And in a way, it all just sounds good. Like if I screw up, it's just kind of loud and awesome.
Yep.
So it's just like this beautiful moment of like, wow, I'm a rock star.
And you're immune. Yeah, you're like making music, and it's good no matter what. Yeah, that's what I think is really interesting between the styles of electric and acoustic. A hurdle I had to get over was like acoustic. You can kind of hear all the strings when you play it, and it's very obvious if you mess up.
Yes.
But electric, it's a lot more of just like put your hand down and play a major chord and like slam the strings, and it'll sound good.
Yeah.
Which
And like, you mess with your pickups, you can literally just like press the buttons and you're getting that real sound.
Yeah.
Like, which is kind of awesome. It's cool and interesting because I mostly play acoustic now because that's what I have with me currently. And like, it's also the nicer of the two guitars that I have.
Yeah.
And it works, but like, it's just interesting because I see and hear all these things. And then when I take it over to the electric guitar, it's like, oh, this doesn't matter anymore. It's a different instrument.
It is.
It is. So it's just interesting.
It's definitely a hurdle.
It is.
You can't really just like play the same thing on both of them.
You can. It just won't sound like it'll just sound like
you gotta change
strange
some things
on
up.
one.
Yeah.
It'll be like, okay, you're doing the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But which I think is really funny because I'm like, I just end up playing Metallica on my acoustic guitar because I'm like, this is awesome, guys. This is all I have. And
I like this style.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Unplugged.
That's how I feel when I play Seven Nation Army, the doom, doom on my acoustic. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this rocks.
Oh yeah.
This rocks.
This
dude.
is cool. Do you have a personal preference between your two?
I would love. Here's the problem. There's two wolves inside me. There's like singer-songwriter, like, get me down with my acoustic guitar, let's make music.
Yes.
And there's like, oh my God, I need to shred.
Yeah.
Like the coolest people of all time, all shred.
Yes.
Like, please get me on there.
Yeah.
Get me on there. And I think that wolf is usually a little stronger.
Yeah.
Just because like, I'm not, my preference and what I've done, I'm not the biggest chords guy. Like chords have always come kind of secondary.
Yeah.
Big riff person, big like constructing like a melody sort of vibe. So that's like where I come from. And like that's more so electric guitar is like these riff elements. And you'll see a lot of times too, like in crazy rock music, it'll be like kind of the same riff over and over again. It'll be like this simple melody over again. Or / like it will be like these simple it's just power chords. It's like you bump bump bump
wow
bump 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 bump
wow.
over and over, like it's simple.
Yeah.
Which is like surprising to me. I'm like a lot of these are really simple, but it's just like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. Which also is really interesting when then you get into the science of like guitar, and that's the thing I've never gotten into is like music theory as an idea. Like if I play this chord, then I should play this next chord because it's a minor seventh and it complements, and then you must resolve it. Exactly.
Yeah.
God, that scares me too. But that I feel like is a big thing in like rock because you play the same chords, but the pattern and the progression sounds so nice.
Yes.
And just you can keep the song moving.
And that's something interesting, I think, just as a society. We listen to music so much all the time that we can automatically just sort of recognize what sounds good. Like when I a few weeks ago, a month ago, I did a show in which I had to write my own song, and I did like my own guitar for it. And I was trying to figure out how to end it. And I like tried to map it out with like music theory. I'm like, okay, I'm on the 7th, like I'm on, okay, right now I'm on the 5th. So like, do I go up to whatever? And I was like really braiding it out. And I'm like, wait, I'm going to go here and I'm going to go here. Yeah. And that doesn't sound good. Let me try some. Oh, that sounds good.
Right?
I'll do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So because we're so involved in music, like it has become accessible because we can listen to music and we know what good music sounds like. We don't need to understand why to make it.
Exactly.
If that makes sense.
Exactly. I agree.
So, which is interesting. And that's what I think also is incredibly accessible and really cool about drums and guitar is that those instruments are so mainstream and you can really truly learn them yourself.
Yes.
Like when you think about all your classic like orchestral stuff or like your band instruments or whatever, like there's a little bit less of that culture there of like, let me pick up the clarinet.
Yeah.
And really like
you're really committing to something then.
Yeah, self-teach myself clarinet. So
yeah.
Hey, guess what?
What?
We're rounding the final quarter. Final corner?
Corner?
Yeah. It's actually like if we're talking about the show in quarters, we're way past the final quarter.
Okay.
Any parting thoughts, any parting wisdom for our audience about drumming, about guitars, about music, about life?
Wow. All 4? Here I go. Okay. Okay. Here's my parting wisdom. You don't have to like take lessons or like be the best to just have fun. Like
That's
just
true.
do something because it interests you and it's cool. And if you're bad sometimes, that's okay because we're all learning and we're all learners. And you can learn to get better or you can just choose to have fun. And that's a battle I fight sometimes with myself. I'm like, this sounds bad. And I'm like, but I'm having fun. So does it matter?
Food for thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just think about that.
That's beautiful. And I think it's a really nice sentiment. Like we were talking about before, we all move so fast all the time.
Exactly.
Take some time to slow down and really just enjoy the world around us.
Yeah.
Hope.
Peyton.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having
me. This has been a wonderful pleasure and great conversations.
Yes.
Thank you for talking about how good the Red Hot Chili Peppers are. I think that's
always.
important to me personally.
Yes. And we will talk more about this later.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. And it's going to be awesome. Thank you again. Anything you want to plug, promote while you have a captive audience of
Go
millions?
listen to the Red Hot Chili Peppers and Green Day, and then
shout out.
Find Peyton and ask him or tell him which one you would rather have, Red Hot or Green Day.
I don't think there's a wrong answer. I just have a preference.
Yes, exactly.
So that's kind of where we're at. But,
okay.
All right. Hey, I'll see y'all a little later next week. Perhaps it'll be awesome and cool and beautiful.
Super cool.
And we'll still be passionate. See y'all soon. Bye-bye. Hey, we did it. Wait,
wow.
It's not quite done yet. Oh.